Use your marketing skills.
So, how is everybody? How was your weekend? Good, good. Mine too. So, this week we've got a lecture today on business level strategy, and then Wednesday we're going to do a review session for the exam that we're having next week, and that'll be this week. Exam session, I doubt will take the whole time on Wednesday, so any extra time I can meet with groups about Globus or any other questions you have about your case papers. So, business level strategy. So going back to our handbrake model, we are still in this quadrant right now, talking about strategic analysis. Chapter of your book-wise, we are now down here to strategy formulation, chapter 4, business level strategy. And the main point here is coordinated actions or sets of actions that are used to exploit the core competencies that we identified last week in order to gain competitive advantage in a particular business segment. So, kind of putting things all together, we first talked about the handbrake model and determining your overall strategy. We then talked about the external environment and understanding how the structure of your industry looks and what the key success factors are in that industry. Then looking in detail about the key success factors for your own particular business, what are the core competencies or distinctive competencies among those key success factors that your company has. Now we're looking at, once we've determined what those distinctive competencies are, where do we go from there? And where we go from there is looking at customers. So from your key business level strategic issues, you're going to ask who is served, what needs are satisfied, and how are they satisfied. Sam, how's it going? The idea in your customer analysis is to kind of funnel down from big picture demographic factors down to a particular target customer, target market. So if you're looking at consumer markets, one of the first things you look at is demographic factors. So that's going to be things like age, income, gender. In the example here on the right, for Connecticut as a travel destination, the demographic target was women aged 35 to 54 with household incomes above $65,000. So, like I said, things like age, income, and gender are what you want to look for demographic variables. Socioeconomic factors that you might narrow down your customer market based on are things like social class or stage and family life cycle. Geographic factors could be cultural and national differences or regional differences. So in the case of this example, the geographic variable is just the women in that age group with that income who are living in the greater New York area. Psychological or psychographic variables, things like lifestyle and personality traits. In this example, people who like to travel. And then consumption patterns or perceptual factors. In this case, we're talking about a consumption pattern, and that is people who take 2 or more getaway trips per year with family or friends. So the idea is to start with broad demographic variables, narrow down with geography, and end up with a specific target market of the customers that you're looking for your product or service. If you are looking to sell to businesses rather than to individual consumers, the demographic factor, as it were, you want to know is what industry is that company in, or what is the SIC or NAICS code of that market? What product segments are there in the market you're looking at? Is it based on technological difference, or is it based on production economics of some way? Also, business-to-business markets are narrowed down by geography, just like consumer ones are. They're also sometimes narrowed down by common buying factor segments. So these are things that cut across the product market or the geographic segment. And then the size of the business is an important thing to know as well. So that last graphic is a nice overall view that I like to borrow from my colleagues talking about the big picture of customer segmentation. The particular tool that I like to use in this class is one called the customer vignette. And the first question you're asking here is, who is your target customer? So is it a consumer or is it a business? And are there different segments to that market? And then once you've determined whether you're looking at consumers or businesses and what the market segments are, there's 6 things that you want to know about your customers. First of all, how often do they purchase the service or product that you offer? What price point do they purchase at? What kind of advertising media are they sensitive to? What competitors do they use besides you? What are their demographics? And what are their general impressions of your product or service? So I've got an example here of how this vignette is filled out, using myself as an example. This is a project that some of my small business students did last semester and the semester before, focusing on the Bakersfield Condors as the business, and looking at people like me as the customers. So the idea here is to identify certain products and then find friends and associates that you can interview to ask these specific questions, and then you're going to be filling out a table in your case analysis based on this information. So purchase or place frequency for this example, I'm a season ticket holder and I usually go out for entertainment a couple of times per month. Price point, I paid $300 for my 6-game package, and whenever I go out for an evening, I usually spend $100 to $200 on that night out. Advertising media that I'm sensitive to when I think about entertainment options for the evening or the weekend, I always will listen to word of mouth, WOM, from other people I know where they suggest things I might want to do. I will Google activities sometimes if I'm interested in finding something in particular. If I see a Yelp review for a particular restaurant business or entertainment venue, I'll take a look at that. And if I receive emails, posters, if I see posters, or if I get a brochure, I'll respond to those as well. The competitors that I usually use for entertainment, if it's not the Condors, I'm usually out at a local bar or listening to live music. My demographics, very important. I used to be 44, now I'm 45, since I did this last year. I'm still single with no kids. I'm about 110 in annual salary. I'm a professor. I live in Westchester, and I work here at CSUB. So those are the main categories of information you want to know about your target customers for their demographics, and then you want to get their general impressions of the product or service. So my general impression of the Condors that it's a lot of fun. It's kind of a small town, cozy experience, but it still is related to the excitement of the NHL. So once you have, actually before I go into this, let me jump out of here for a second and go to your case analysis template. So what I just showed you for the customer vignette is one of the things that I want you to fill out for your case analysis template. So if we scroll down past the summary and the strategic analysis overall strategy section, we get to external analysis, which we've talked about, internal analysis, which we talked about last week, and then finally customer and competition analysis tools. So this is what we're talking about today. And this is the table that I want you to fill out for your customer vignette. So I forget, Stacy, what company are you guys focused on?
Disney.
Huh?
Disney.
Disney. So for Disney, maybe one segment is movies. One segment is theme parks. And one segment is merchandise. Okay, so think about the, bless you, think about the different products and services that your company offers. You're going to decide on those different segments. You can just copy the name of the segment into the product or service here. And then you're going to go out and you're going to talk to somebody you know, friend or family, associate of some kind, who is a potential customer for Disney movies, who is a potential customer to go to Disneyland, who is a potential customer to buy Disney merchandise. And you're going to ask these interview questions and fill out the table just like I did for that example of myself and the Condors. Does that make sense? Okay. So that is your customer vignette assignment. Going back to the slides, after you've developed a customer vignette, you're going to do market sizing. So determining how big, how many other people are there like this customer that you interviewed out there. When you're doing market sizing, you start with a geographic scope, so it's either going to be Kern County or the state of California. You're going to go and grab those customer demographics that you identified from the interview, and you're going to use those to search for certain types of information, and you're going to make some assumptions that go along with that information. So there's different kinds of assumptions. There's assumptions that are based on hard data, which is basically numbers that you can find online with the Census Bureau or other data sources. There's assumptions based on anecdotal evidence, which is other information that comes out of those interviews that you do with potential customers. And then finally, there's arbitrary assumptions that are based on educated guesses. Things like, what percentage of the market could you get, given how many competitors you know are out there. So it's a non-scientific kind of off the top of your head calculation in that case. So finding hard data for market sizing. Macroeconomic data is rarely exactly what you want. You have to kind of take what you can get. So there's no Census Bureau database out there that counts the number of Jeremys. There's Census Bureau, there are database categories that count sort of common demographic factors. This is why I say that you should find out people's age, gender, income level, marital status, their occupation, their income, I think I mentioned that, and where they live. These are the kinds of factors that you can find information on with the Census Bureau's databases. So once you find that information, if, for example, you find information in the Census Bureau on all education professionals, and we just want professionals, or we just want professors, not all education professionals, so not high school teachers, not elementary school teachers, not private tutors, we just want professors, then we're going to have to make some additional assumptions to size down the number that we found to one that's more realistic. I have listed for you here how it used to be last semester to find this information with the Census Bureau. Every time I make up the slides and have it all set where to find the information, the Census Bureau moves the information to a different location on their website. So now all of the information you need is actually findable, whether it's a business or a consumer. It's all findable with this database, American Fact Finder. So if we click into American Fact Finder here, and we go to Advanced Search and Show Me All, there's various search categories that you can search on. So the first thing I would suggest is searching on geography, and either choosing a state or a county. So if we choose state and California, for example, this will filter all the search results to just give us information on the state of California. Now, if we go to topics, this will give us the opportunity to search on different things like age and sex of individuals. And then based on that, we can go and look at age and sex information for the state of California. So this will tell us the total population, the total male population, the total female population, and the percentage of that population that is in each of these age categories. So if we wanted to know about men in the state of California age 40 to 50, we would go over here to the total number of men in California, 19,440,000. Put that information into our hard data assumptions here. So this is what your case analysis assignment is going to look like. You're going to start by designating what the product or service is. So in this case, if we go with the Disney example again, maybe it's movies. Disney movies, country or region is California, and if we're looking at people like me, that's single adult male professionals, age 40 to 50, earning over $100,000. So we found the California male population. We'll put that here, that 19 million number. Then we look for the percentage that's between 40 and 50. So 40 to 44 years old is 6.6%. 45 to 49 is 6.7. So as a total, that's 13.3%, I believe. So we'll go in here to the age 40 to 50 number and put in 13.3%. And we're going to footnote where we got that data right here. And then we need to go back to our search, take out the age information, and now we're going to look for income level information. So employment, or people, income and earnings, income and earnings households. If we close that and then go income in the past 12 months, this will show us in the state of California for households, families, married couples, and non-family households, what the percentage was of people earning above $100,000. So if we look here for all households, that's 15.3% plus 7.5 plus 8.9. We add those together and come up with a number to put here. So then we footnote where we found that. Then we need to make an anecdotal assumption about the price. So we're going to go back to that customer vignette we put together, look at the price point people said that they pay, and put the price point in here under anecdotal assumptions, and then educated guess assumptions. Based on the number of competitors that people mentioned in their customer vignette interviews, let's say there were 10 different competitors that people mentioned. If there's 10 different competitors, 100% divided by 10 competitors is about 10% each. So ballpark estimate will say 10% for educated guess on the market share. Then you multiply all of those numbers above together, and you come up with a total number for the expected market size for revenue of that target market. That table right there is going to go right here in your market size in your case analysis template, and I've given you the same information, that's the same instructions that are in the slides are right here in the template for you as well. So it refers you to the lecture slides and then gives you the link for the database again down here. So that's what I want you to do for market sizing. I'll give you one other example of what you would do for market sizing if you're talking about a business rather than an individual consumer. So the example that we just did was people like me who are individual consumers of movies. If instead we wanted to talk about Disney doing corporate discounts, so offering companies discounted movie tickets as part of their like employee benefits package, if we wanted to look at that instead, and for example, maybe Disney wanted to target clothing accessory stores to give free movie or discounted movie passes to. So if that were the case, we would need to go find, first of all, what the NAICS code is for clothing accessory stores. So whatever type of business it is that you're looking at, you're going to go to the website naics.com, and go to find your NAICS code, and then just type in whatever type of business you're looking for. If we type in clothing, there's all kinds of different codes here with their descriptions. So fabric coating mills, men's and boys apparel manufacturing, da-da-da, da-da-da, da-da-da. Here, clothing accessories stores, that's the one we were looking for. 448150 is the number that we want. So if you notice here, I put in 448150, and we need to go to American Fact Finder again, take out the income and earnings thing here, and go to industry codes and search on 448150. That gives us clothing accessory stores. If we click there and add that to our search results, and then close the search window, that gives us these databases available for data. If we click there, it tells us that in the state of California there are a little over 1,000 clothing accessory stores. So we would take that number, put it in here, so not just Kern County, but the state of California now, that's going to be 1,000. Whatever the standard amount of money is that the company would spend on these discounted tickets. So normally the way this would work is Disney offers these discounted tickets. So instead of $15 for a movie, it's only $5 for a movie, and for each $5, then the company just pays for those tickets in like multiples of 5. So whatever that number is, the company would be willing to buy for their employee benefits, we put here under anecdotal assumptions, and then under educated guess, we need to think about a ballpark again. Well, there's either Disney movies or there's Universal movies. So with just 2 competitors that people mentioned, we're going to think about a 50% market share. And then multiply all those numbers together, and that gives us a number for potential business revenues. And then that obviously would go here in your market sizing instead. So you're going to have 3 customer segments that you identified in your customer vignettes. I just want you to pick one to do a market sizing estimate on. Does that make sense? Okay, cool. So back to the slides again. Moving on to generic competitive strategy. So generic competitive strategy is basically, like we talked about all the way back in the first lecture, whether you're competing on cost or you're competing on differentiation. So if you're competing on cost, there's kind of 2 options that you have. You can either use low cost, you can either use that low cost edge to underprice your competitors and give lower prices to consumers, or you can maintain your price, be content with what your market share is, and use your low cost advantage to generate higher profit margin on every unit that you sell. So those, if you're competing on price, then if you're competing on cost, those are the 2 things that you could do with your cost to impact your strategy. If you're competing on differentiation, this is a powerful approach whenever buyers' needs and preferences are too diverse to be fully satisfied by a standardized product. They incorporate differentiating features that cause buyers to prefer one firm's product over another's. And then the important thing to remember about differentiation is not to spend more to achieve your differentiation than the price premium that customers are willing to pay. So whatever price customers are willing to pay, is you don't want to spend any more than that to differentiate. Otherwise, you're just wasting money. As far as your exams are concerned, the book goes into a little bit more detail that I want to mention here. There's not just cost differentiation and low cost. There's also whether it's focused on a specific niche market or whether it's broad across all markets. And then there's also a strategy that you could follow called best cost, which basically doesn't have the lowest cost but has a pretty low cost and also offers differentiated features. That tends to be the hardest generic competitive niche to follow, but it is possible to go that direction. Some actions you can take for a cost leadership strategy. Standardize your product. Focus on economies of scale with high fixed cost and low variable cost. You can try and lower your input costs. You can use efficient scale facilities. Invest in technology for improving your production operations. You can use mechanistic feedback in a loop to loop back into your actions. Sometimes just exercising strong cost controls is another strategy to go with. And sometimes, like I said, you can go with low prices. Other times you keep the same price and use the extra as additional profit margin. Examples of value creating activities that you could do as a cost leadership strategy. I talked about in a prior lecture how it's nice to have cheat sheets sometimes. This is a great cheat sheet for all the different places where you can identify cost savings and the opportunity to pursue a cost leadership strategy. So in finance, you could manage financial resources to ensure positive cash flow and low debt costs. You could focus on saving money in the human resources area by having efficient hiring and retention practices. You could focus on low costs in your MIS operations by keeping those as cost effective as possible. So those are kind of the support function areas that you could look for cost savings. The value chain areas, so the value creating activities of the company that you could look for cost savings in. Relationships with suppliers for your supply chain management. Building economies of scale in your operations so that your operations are bigger and create lower unit costs. Distribution, you can use low-cost distribution partners to lower your costs there. Marketing, you can really focus and target your advertising to save money in your marketing costs. Or you can do good quality, efficient customer service to minimize the amount of returns and warranty costs that you have. Some of this stuff kind of links into some of the categories of decisions that you have to make in Globus, actually. If you want to follow a differentiation strategy instead of a low-cost strategy, things you can do: focus on the customer relationship. Focus on compensation that is based on satisfaction of employees. You can focus on high-quality supplies and inputs for your products.
Would this be like Windows versus Apple? This would be Apple?
What's that?
Would a good example be Windows versus Apple?
Yeah, Apple does tend to focus on being a differentiated product rather than a low-cost product. So yeah, it's a good example, Martin. You can focus on quick, customized response and delivery. You could focus on investment in basic research and development. Subjective feedback, organic control, or higher prices. Going back to those same support functions and value-added activities that we talked about for where you can find low-cost opportunities, places where you can find differentiation opportunities in each of those areas. For finance, making long-term investments in things like new technology. For human resources, recruiting really high-quality qualified employees and investing in their training. For your MIS systems, really developing cutting-edge MIS systems. In the actual value-creating activities, you can really invest in developing and maintaining your relationships with suppliers. You can focus on really high-quality goods and operations. So rather than trying to produce the most financially economical product possible, you're focusing on the best quality product possible. You can look at really trying to make the delivery timing as fast as possible and investing more in that. you can really invest strongly in advertising and promotions and differentiate yourself there. And you can provide really high quality customer service to differentiate that way. So a number of different areas where you can differentiate. It's a good cheat sheet model here in your slides. As far as the case analysis template goes, if we scroll down, what I want you to do in the case analysis template is a little bit easier than what I just described in the slides. For each of those 3 customer segments that you identified in your customer vignette interviews, I just want you to tell me, does the company compete on cost or do they compete on differentiation? So if we stay with the Disney example, this would be movies here. This would be theme parks. And this would be merchandise. Thank you. So what do you guys think? Do they compete on trying to have the lowest price, or do they have sort of a distinctive brand image and charge more money than other people sometimes? Okay, so we're going to put differentiation here for movies. What about the costs or differentiation of Disneyland? Differentiation again, okay. And merchandise, do they focus on low-cost merchandise, or is Disney merchandise sometimes expensive? Okay, so differentiation in all 3 cases. And then you're going to give me 1 or 2 sentences here explaining why you believe that's the case. So, movies, Disney focuses on a very specific brand image for the types of movies they produce. They do not focus in particular on pricing. Therefore, we have decided that they compete on differentiation in this segment. Okay, and then you're going to give similar explanations here and here, and then when you get done, make sure to make all of the font black and get rid of those instructions. So when you're done, you're going to have a table that looks something like this. Those are the 3 major tools for business level strategy. We're going to talk about some other tools for business level strategy when we, as part of the corporate level strategy section, we're also going to talk about, here's where it gets a little bit, the slides and the slides, the book chapters, and the case analysis template. This is an area where they diverge a little bit. So we talked about business level strategy after the exam, or well, actually next week before the exam. It won't be covered on the exam, but before the exam, I'll do the lecture next Monday on competitive rivalry and competitive dynamics. And those are also part of the customer analysis, customer and competition analysis part of your case analysis template. So this is another chapter in the book. It's another set of slides for next week. They both fit together in the same area of the case analysis template. So that's basically what I have to cover on customer analysis and competition. Somehow, I do these lectures twice a day, and in some ways it would be better if I had the longer class in the morning, because it takes me a little while to get warmed up, and it takes a little while to go through the lecture. It took me 50 minutes this morning just to go through up through the end of market sizing, and now it's taken me 40 minutes, and I've already gone through everything for you guys, and you have an hour and 15-minute class session. So I gotta find better ways to fill more of the time here. I mean, I know probably not many people in here are upset if we end the class early, but I really want you to get your money's worth, and it's awkward doing the same lecture twice a day, because I actually get more efficient in how I do the lecture. So it usually takes less time to do the lecture in the afternoon, even though we have more time as a class. So before we go, let me take advantage of the fact that we're here to practice my my face map again. Hang on. So, Group L, you guys are focusing on Disney, right? Group M, so Marshawn and Maria and the other Maria and Sabrina. Hey, you're sitting where Maria used to be. Last week, the two Marias were right here. So you guys, I don't think you've chosen the company yet, have you? Huh? Starbucks? Okay. I was going to suggest one of the local accounting firms, since a lot of people are interested in accounting in your group, but a Starbucks is going to be really easy to find information on, so that'll be good. Group C, you guys are focused on Adidas, right? Yeah. So Salman, right? Yes. Okay. And hang on. And Jack is usually back there, but I don't see him today. And Gerardo? I don't see Gerardo either. You're the only one from your group here. Okay, Group N. I forget. You guys were focused on Nike? Is that right? Okay, cool. Lauren, your Group F. I forget what. No, wait. It was Costco, right? Sam's Club. And then Group K, you guys were focused on Costco, right? Yes. And Group J, I don't see anybody from Group J right now. So I can't remember what Group J was focused on. Group B, I think was, you guys were, Johnson & Johnson, that's it. And Group A, you guys were Amazon, I think? Yeah. And Group G, Apple, right? Yep. Okay. And Group D, Sam, you guys were CSX, yeah, the railroad company. And Group I think Group I did not have a focus yet, but a lot of people in that group were focused on banking. And then Group E, Morris and Jaron and Blake, right? What company? And wait a minute, Travis? Yeah. What company are you guys doing? Amazon. Okay, cool. We got two Amazons in here. So cool. Do you guys have any questions about what we went over in the lecture? Okay, then I'm done. I'll see you on Wednesday. I just want you to email it to me, okay? So just attach it to an email and send it. Okay?
Okay, I did have a problem with the cover letter. I didn't finish one yet.
Yep.
Because the more I keep looking into it, I don't know what I want to do. So I started reading the book or whatever, and then I'm trying to do like a legit
Oh,
one.
cool.
So I didn't want to turn in something that is not going to be made up. So.
Yeah, if you can't, can you make sure to email this to me too? Okay, cool. Yeah, so you can. Oh, cool. Thank you. Okay. It's actually a lot more than I did. This is all I needed. So if you can't think of it, if you can't think of one by middle of the week, just pick a company that's kind of pretend and do it like that.
Well, yeah, because I put Amazon, but I don't know. I'm looking at like real jobs in it. I don't know if that's what I want to do or whatnot. I got a lot of ideas of what I could potentially do after graduating.
Yeah, I'm glad you're looking at the book. But just pick one for the assignment.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'll turn it in.
Cool. Lindsay.
I do have the market sizing part.
Uh-huh.
Like analysis. Do we pick what market? Like,
Yes.
okay.
You choose the market segment.
Okay.
So you choose 3 segments that you're going to interview people about.
Okay.
And then from those, pick one of them that you're going to interview them about. No problem.
That's gonna be the main killer here. All right,
Sam, what's up?
so this cover letter, I
Uh-huh.
want to make it. I wrote a lot of them, and they all turned out really lame and not a lot on it because of my work experience. So I'm wondering, I'm gonna actually write hopefully a real one
Uh-huh.
to my brother's HR director for his company that he works
Okay.
for in town. And I was hoping that if you had time later tonight or something like that we'd get together and talk about how to make the Shout project sound more. Because I want to incorporate that
Uh-huh.
and make it seem, because that's like my biggest business
Yeah.
venture,
Yeah,
I guess.
totally.
Yeah, so I want to incorporate that and make it more legit. And I got all the info for it and stuff, so I really haven't made much
Sure.
progress in that.
Well, I got extra time now if you want to talk about it right now.
Good, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let me, set up. Do you mind waiting for me? Thank you.
No problem.
I didn't mean that.
Daniel, right? Yeah. Okay, cool. I'm practicing. I've got a map of everybody's faces. I'm practicing like, huh?
What face do you have?
Where are you? Where am I? It's whatever.
It's a beautiful one.
Student ID. Oh,
As long as,
Oh, it's your mugshot, bro. You're good.
Okay, we're good. My hair still looks super black. Yep, super black.
Wait, where's D?
Huh?
Where's D? Where are we? Oh, dude, we're right there. Look.
There you have it.
I was gonna say, I don't think they
You're Zaid, right? Okay, cool. I'm just practicing my faces. You are Nasser, right? And hang on. Frank, yes, Schuster. I have a really good friend in Germany named Ivo Schuster. It's a great German name, man.
Yeah, shoemaker.
And Luigi.
That's me, the one and only. Did you get my email?
What about having to go out?
Cover letter.
Oh yeah.
I sent it to you this morning.
That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I got it. It's all good.
I get calls.
Sam's
on,
still working on his right now,
I
so
get
it's no
calls.
problem.
I get calls on Fridays.
Uh-huh.
This time it was actually kind of cool.
I'm listening.
Our
Is it
VP
David? You're David Pacheco, right? Okay, cool. I'm just practicing my faces here. Cool. And wait a minute.
Everyone's thinking they're in
You
trouble.
are Yasmin? All right. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm gonna help Sam here for a second, and then I'll be there about 2:30. Okay. Yes, sorry.
Our VP calls me like Friday morning and he goes, "Are you available to go to Minnesota this weekend?"
Oh, Minnesota.
Fuck, I guess.
Sure,
Okay, why?
like,
He goes, "All right, we're
tomorrow
gonna have
morning?
a jet in Bakersfield in 2.5 hours. Can you be there?" Yes, I'll be on it. We'll have drinks waiting for you when you get on.
Private
Sounds
jet?
good. Yeah, when are we coming back?
Wow.
Sometime Sunday. We might come home Monday. We'll figure it out though. We have the jet for the weekend. We're fine. Let's go. Okay. What am I supposed to say? No.
No, don't.
So I spent
No way you say no to that, man.
yeah, weekend in Minnesota with
Where in Minnesota?
guys.
Minneapolis?
Yeah, we flew into Minneapolis, then we went north and west from there, and we were walking a job with some new clients
Uh-huh.
to see what they want to do. I don't want to build in Minnesota, but it's not up to me. I just got to come along. Free drinks for the weekend.
Cool for you.
It was fun. All right, thank you.
Frank, yes.
Yeah, so you said we're gonna have a study session prior to the exam?
Yeah, we're gonna do that on Wednesday.
Okay. So I've read the book, but it's kind of like,
Yeah, I'm gonna go over some of the main stuff from the book that's gonna be on the exam.
okay, that's cool. All right, thanks.
Cool, no problem.
So
Daniel, did you need something from me too? You just
No,
waiting?
he's
Just
tagging
stands.
me.
Okay.
Group member. Okay, so basically, I know how to vaguely make it. I know this doesn't have to be perfect by any means, and it needs to be short and sweet too. But I look up online, I read a lot of these, and it's like, oh, your advertisement for HR assistant fits mine would be like financial management consult, something along those lines or whatever I would claim.
Uh-huh.
And then it says like a good one that I found. Or this is the one that I found most sets well for a college student about to graduate with little business experience that needs to make the school side sound more legit
Mhm.
than the work. So I
Yeah,
don't talk about that as much, but without lying. So they talk about like after completing a business degree from such and such, I enrolled in such and such programs. Course highlights include, and then talk about organizational skills, leader. I can BS all that, but how would you go about the shout thing and saying like kind of like the LinkedIn? I definitely need to add it to my LinkedIn too and make those. But how do you make it sound professional without making it sound like a school project? Or is it okay to make it sound like a school project, but then just say we got such and such done? How do I bullet highlights? I guess would be my because that's what this person does, or most of them do.
I would say,
Just like notes, I could go off.
one of the highlights of my educational experience was an implementation project that I did for my entrepreneurship class.
Okay.
Together with what, 6 colleagues or however many it was, together with 6 colleagues, founded a nonprofit focused on
Child development. Or,
focused on foster care for troubled teens. Brought in X amount of fundraising dollars. Ensured bureaucratic registrations
that's okay. So that's something I didn't think about.
and participated in regular project planning meetings as member of board of directors.
Okay, so that's a lot better too. Just saying.
Go ahead.
Yellow stopwatch.
I don't see one, but you're welcome to look
I think
underneath.
someone might have accidentally taken it home with them and might be returning it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
unfortunately, I didn't see the yellow stopwatch when I walked in, but that was just an hour ago, so. No problem.
And then so with them, okay, so they would talk about like just in this online example, like based on your description of the ideal candidate for such and such job, I also offer, they say, a solid educational foundation and organizational development. That's just basically boosting you, saying that I got a degree in management and I learned these skills through these courses, kind of like the LinkedIn, basically, just saying that this is what. Okay. Proven ability. Okay. Just talk about it. Okay, I should be good, and I'll get this to you before our next class.
Okay.
But sincerely, and then the rest of it's like an email.
Does that help you along?
Yeah, that helped me a lot. That's just what I wanted to talk like on my thing about. 'Cause that's one of the probably the higher, education things I've done.
I'm glad you're focusing on that, man. That's exactly why it's exactly